They were once the queens of the silver screen, until a strange trend swept through Hollywood. Legendary actresses in roles that were grotesque, unhinged, and unforgettable. Welcome to the wild world of Hagsploitation. In this video, we're taking a look at more films from the Grand Dame Guignol era, where horror and Hollywood collided in the most dramatic ways possible. In the Arizona desert, grief turns to greed in Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice, a sun-baked thriller where the skeletons don't stay buried for long. Geraldine Page plays Claire Marable, a recently widowed woman who discovers her late husband left her penniless. To maintain her lavish lifestyle, she devises a brutal scheme: hire elderly housekeepers, steal their savings, and dispose of them under the guise of domestic turnover. But when one new maid, played by Ruth Gordon, starts growing suspicious, a deadly cat-and-mouse game begins. Directed by Lee H. Katzin and produced by Robert Aldrich, who also produced Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte, the film trades gothic shadows for wide, arid landscapes and a growing sense of moral decay. Page is deliciously cold-blooded, all brittle smiles and buried secrets, while Gordon brings a spry mix of warmth and wariness. The movie is tense, clever, and quietly brutal, and Aunt Alice is one of the genre's sharpest entries.
If you want to live like some duchess, some maharani, you better learn to behave like one.
Bette Davis dials up the venom in The Anniversary, a black comedy where family dysfunction meets full-blown psychological warfare. She plays a one-eyed matriarch who gathers her 3 grown sons each year to celebrate her wedding anniversary, despite her husband being long dead. What follows is a tense, often absurd power play.
Shirley, my dear, would you mind sitting somewhere else? Body odor offends me.
I haven't got body odor.
As secrets surface, and Davis delivers her cutting lines with theatrical glee. With its single-location setting and stage play structure, it leans more toward camp than horror, but Betty's towering performance makes it unforgettable.
To Dad.
To Dad.
Barbara Stanwyck enters a world of nightmares in The Night Walker, a sleek psychological thriller directed by William Castle. She plays Irene Trent, the wealthy but emotionally trapped wife of a blind, possessive inventor. When he dies in a suspicious explosion, Irene is plagued by vivid dreams of a mysterious lover, dreams that begin to bleed into her waking life. As her grasp on reality slips, she's drawn into a web of gaslighting, paranoia, and buried secrets. Known for his gimmicks, Castle plays it surprisingly straight here, leaning into a moody, noir-like style that lets Stanwyck do all the heavy lifting with her performance. With striking dream sequences, eerie music, and a growing sense of unreality, The Night Walker plays like a late-era noir reimagined as a ghost story. It's one of Stanwyck's last starring roles, and a quietly unsettling swan song for her screen persona. Tallulah Bankhead delivers a gloriously unhinged final performance as a fanatical mother with a deadly grip on the past. When a young American woman, played by Stephanie Powers, visits her late fiancé's mother in the English countryside, she finds herself imprisoned by a woman who refuses to accept that her son is gone, or that anyone else can control his legacy.
What are you wearing? The devil's color. Go upstairs immediately and put on something proper.
Yes, Mrs. Trefoil.
It's almost 7 o'clock. We must not fall behind the day's routine.
What begins as an awkward visit spirals into religious mania, locked doors, and psychological torment. Directed by Silvio Narizano and shot in vivid Technicolor, the film mixes old-school Gothic suspense with 60s edge. Bankhead leans into the role with theatrical rage, turning every line into a sermon and every glance into a threat. It's claustrophobic, stylish, and often shockingly intense, a fitting farewell for one of Hollywood's boldest personalities. Joan Fontaine stars in The Witches, a slow-burning British thriller with a sense of creeping dread. After suffering a breakdown while working abroad, her character takes a teaching job in a quiet English village, only to sense that something isn't quite right. Whispers of pagan rituals, eerie behavior from the locals, and a disturbing student-teacher relationship build toward a strange and unforgettable finale. Produced by Hammer Films, it trades blood and shocks for a more psychological, almost folkloric unease.
Witchcraft? Somebody having a little dabble? Yes, I would think so.
Fontaine brings a fragile elegance to the role, and while the pacing is deliberate, the mood lingers long after the credits roll. The Baby follows a social worker assigned to a case involving a grown man known only as Baby, who wears diapers, doesn't speak, and is treated like an infant by his mother and two sisters. What starts as an offbeat psychological drama quickly slides into exploitation territory, with scenes that are as uncomfortable as they are unforgettable. Director Ted Post frames everything with a matter-of-fact tone that makes it feel even more unsettling. Beneath the twisted premise lies a dark commentary on control, trauma, and dependency. But make no mistake, this one leans fully into the grotesque. With its lurid tone, strange performances, and a truly shocking final act, The Baby is the kind of film you watch once and never forget.
Come on, please. That's good. Come on, just a big smile.
I Saw What You Did follows two teenage girls making prank phone calls.
I saw what you did, and I know who you are.
Until one of their jokes accidentally targets a real murderer. Joan Crawford plays Amy Nelson, a lonely, unstable woman who's become entangled with the killer and grows increasingly jealous and paranoid. While she doesn't headline here, when she does show up, she makes it count.
You're too young.
It's a role loaded with the kind of bottled-up rage that defined this era for aging stars. Directed by William Castle, it mixes teen thriller energy with moments of genuine suspense, and Joan's presence adds weight to an otherwise pulpy setup, proving once again that even in a secondary role, she could steal the whole movie. Dear Dead Delilah is a slow-burning Southern Gothic full of backstabbing airs, buried secrets, and Agnes Moorehead delivering one of the more quietly sinister performances of her later career. She plays Delilah Charles, a bitter matriarch confined to a wheelchair, surrounded by greedy relatives circling for a piece of her fortune. When the bodies start piling up and someone begins unearthing family skeletons, literally, the line between inheritance drama and slasher flick starts to blur. The pacing is uneven and the production low budget, but its grim tone and sense of moral rot give it an edge. Moorehead plays it with sharpness and restraint. She's not explosive, but there's a coiled menace beneath her every word. It's a role that lets her age with command, not fragility, and she owns it. Lauren Bacall dials down the glamour in Shock Treatment, playing the head of a private mental clinic with more than therapy on her mind. As Dr. Edwina Bagley, she's calm, elegant, and quietly unhinged. When a man checks in under false pretenses to investigate his brother's death, he finds himself trapped in a place where control is everything. Bacall's performance is icy and restrained, letting her cruelty surface in small, chilling moments. There's no camp here, just cold calculation. It's a slower burn than other films on this list, but the menace is real, and Bacall's descent into obsession makes it count. Nobody's calling Trog an overlooked masterpiece, but it holds a strange place in film history as Joan Crawford's final role. She plays Dr. Brockton, a scientist who discovers a feral, prehistoric man living in a cave and attempts to study and civilize him. Crawford reportedly wanted to play a scientist to show that women could be authoritative, intellectual leads. A bold move in 1970, even if the material didn't exactly rise to the occasion. The result is part horror, part sci-fi, and part bizarre TV movie, with Joan performing dead serious opposite a man in an ape mask. The film has become infamous for its absurdity, but there's something oddly noble about how committed she is to every line. It may not be a great film, but it's a closing chapter to both her illustrious career and this subgenre's decline.